Welcome on our second episode on Ansible Zero, where we're going to learn a lot of stuff. Let's go. If you have ever wanted to dive into server management or set up a secure and efficient environment for your project, you are in the right place. Today, we are setting up a master server on Linux and configuring SSH to communicate seamlessly with our target servers, including Docker container running Ubuntu and Debian. We'll be working with a master server hosted on Linux and 3 target servers. We are going to have 1 Linux-based target server and 2 Docker container servers. The first one running Ubuntu and second one Debian. We will install OpenSSH server and configure SSH protocols to establish secure communication between this system. Let's get started. So let's setting up our master server and setting up our Visual Studio Code that we're going to use to connect remotely. So we're going to create our Alma Linux, that is our master on Linux, and setting up our Visual Studio Code and try to connect. We have $100 credit on Linux right now, so you can create a free server. So we're going to move on Google and type linux.com, and you should see something like Akamai is Linux platform. Okay, so let's sign up over there, provide your information, email, username, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to use Google to sign up here, and we're going to move forward. Okay, and you're just going to follow the different steps. After following the different steps, you're going to have your Linux platform showing up like that, and you can move on Linux on Akamai, click on create, and start to create your new server. Okay, in this example I'm showing you how to create a CentOS 7 server, but I'm not going to use it. So you're going to click over there and choose which kind of server you want to install. So on images I'm going to choose CentOS 7 for example, even if I'm using Alma Linux during this formation. Okay, I'm just showing up the process. So over there on share CPU, I'm going to choose the cheaper one, $5 monthly. So with $100 credit, you will be able to use it for a long period. And after that, Linux label, you can provide a Linux label, provide a password. Okay, and if you are setting up everything, you can click on create Linux. Okay, so after creating your Linux server, it should showing up like that, and when you are clicking on it, you should be able to see all the detail, how to SSH connected to it, how to remote connected to it, and everything else that you need in order to work this server remotely. You have your IP address, you have the code, line of code that you're going to run on Visual Studio Code in order to connect remotely. So let's move on Google once again and type Visual Studio Code. Okay, so right there we're going to open our Visual Studio Code and website, and we're going to choose the OS version that we're going to use during this formation. For me it's Windows, and just click on download for Windows. Okay, and after that you will be able to setting up everything and come over there, copy the SSH line and paste it after install our Visual Studio Code, and we will just move forward and type our password that we have generated on the Linux platform site. So I'm doing it quickly right there. Okay, so we are good right now. I am connected on my Linux server, okay, which is going to be my master. Okay, so I'm gonna cat etc release comment. I'm gonna make the cat etc comment in order to showing up you can see it's exactly CentOS 7 that you have choose before that is installed right now. You can see all the detail using the cat /etc star release. Okay, so once we have installed this, we're going to move forward. Okay, so let's move on our real application right now. Mine is the Alma Linux. Okay, you can see the information is a little bit it's looking a little bit different. So it's ending by 128. This is the Alma Linux server since CentOS 7 is not supported anymore. So I'm gonna install it, and I just follow the same process, and I've typed my password, and I'm good in my master server. Let's install Docker right now on this master server. To install Docker, you have a lot of methods. So before you install Docker Engine for the first time on a new host machine, you need to set up the Docker repository. Afterward, you can install and update Docker from. So you can just drop a post and read all this information. You can find all this information on how to set up the repository on Docker documentation page website. Okay, so you're going to install the DNF plugin. This is the command that the documentation of Docker going to show you, and I'm going to show you everything step by step in the following line. So after that, you will install the Docker packages. Okay, and when you have installed your Docker packages, you're going to start your Docker engine using systemctl enable command. Okay, and after that, you're going to move on the next step, which is going to be verify that the installation is successful by running the command docker --. So we're going to move on Docker documentation right now. If you don't have a Docker Hub a credential yet, if you don't have a Docker Web credential yet, if you don't have a Docker Hub page, make sure to create your Docker page, okay, your Docker Hub page, because it's going to be helpful during all our process. Okay, Docker install. So I'm typing in search in docs Docker install engine on CentOS. Since Alma Linux is a same flavor with CentOS, we're going to use information that Docker is showing up about how to install Alma Linux. So it's exactly everything that I'm describing in the previous line that I'm dropping right there. So the first is sudo dnf-y, okay, set up the repository. After that, we move on install Docker engine, running to install the latest version. We're just going to copy our code and drop the Y there to continue with your installation. So I want to advise you, always refer yourself to the Docker documentation website when you want to install Docker on a new server, if you want to avoid every issues during your working process. Okay, so now we're going to start Docker engine using the command that Docker has provided to us. So we're going to do it quickly right there. So it's exactly everything that I'm describing on the beginning of this section. Okay, so okay, right now we are good. Okay, so we're going to move on the next step right now, which is we already start Docker engine. Now verify that installation is successful by running the hello world image. This is an option, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the docker -- version command in order to see if it is installing very good on my server, okay, on my master server. You see, Docker version 26.1.3 build B7 sector. So we are good right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is open that server on another page that I'm calling Ubuntu. Okay, and I'm going to install my first Docker container, which is going to be my Ubuntu. So I'm moving on Docker Hub website, and you can see that one got downloaded more than 1 billion times, and you have a lot of feedback, and you can see the number of pooling that we got, more than 10 million. So since everything looks good, you can copy the Docker pull command and just continue with your process. But I'm not going to do like that. I'm going to run the command directly on my server, docker run -it-name, the server name, -p internal external. Okay, so internal external -z and image name. You can drop a post and see all the detail. What is -i, what is -c, what is -p. Okay, and if you have question, just drop your question in the comment. Okay, I will be happy to help. Okay, so I'm going to run that command in order to install my Ubuntu container. So docker run -it, okay, --name. I will provide the name of my server, which is going to be a Ubuntu server. Okay, so after that I will proceed with the port, the internal port. I'm going to specify the internal port first, the internal port number first, 2200, and the external one 22, which is the number of the number used by SSH protocol. -d means in detached mode, and Ubuntu latest, that means the last version. So you can see that the Docker has been installed successfully. Now I'm going to run Docker ps in order to see information about my Docker container. You can see the container ID and image command created when our container has been created, the port, the name, and so on. Okay, so right now I'm going to connect myself to that Docker using the command docker attach. Okay, so I'm going to run the command docker attach and using the container ID in order to log in on this container server. Okay, now I'm inside the Ubuntu container server. Now let's install OpenSSH server. So right there, let's first run cat etc/store release in order to confirm that we are our Ubuntu server. Okay, so just a way to have a confirmation that we have the good server. You see this trip ID Ubuntu. Awesome. So right now we're going to proceed with apt update first before to install our OpenSSH. Always update. Okay, so apt update, and after that we're going to proceed with apt install OpenSSH server. So the OpenSSH server is already installed by default on our Linux server, but on container we always have to install it and configure it. So that's why we are installing it right now. And after that we're going to move in the SSHD config file in order to proceed with some configuration. So right there, they asked me to choose my state number. My country is America. My state is Denver. I just put the number for the 8 and continue with the process. Okay. So Docker is magic, guys. I'm going to run a full series on Docker after this Ansible series. It's really useful in the software development process. So now I'm going to run service -status all in order to see all my services. You see SSH is down. you can see the minor sign in front. Okay, so right now I have to start it, but I'm going to run my password command first, password root, and setting up my root password. Okay, the root password that I'm going to use to access my container for everything that I'm going to need the root authorization. So right now I think that we're going to see how to configure our SSH element, SSH detail in SSH HD. Okay, so I'm going to move on the SSH directory quickly, and we're going to vim our SSH D config. Okay, for that I would like to use vim, but vim is not installed by default, so I have to install using apt install vim. Vim is a great editor that I love, and I prefer to use it on my configuration on Linux server. So now that it's installed, I can proceed with vim sshd config, and I will be able to proceed with my configuration to make my Docker container accessible in the network by the other by the master server. So sshd -config. It's awesome. Here I just press I have entered the I key to be able to write, and you're going to scroll down until you arrive on permit root login prohibit password and create a line. Write exactly the same thing and add yes at the end. Okay, permit root login space yes, and we're going to register our file. Okay, after that we're going to press escape colon WQ exclamation sign in order to register changes. Okay, so we have updated our file right now. Now we're going to start our SSH daemon. Okay, so we're going to use service command to start it. So we're going to use service command service SSH start, starting open BSD secure shell server SSHD. So now you see we have started it, and if you are doing service dash on now, you're going to see that you have a plus sign in front of SSH. Awesome. So we are good to access it using SSH command on our master. So let's do it quickly. Docker is magic, guys. You're gonna love it. So keep an eye. If you are not if you didn't subscribe to this channel yet, do it. We're gonna come back on our server and run the hostname -i in order to get our IP address on the server. So it's that one, and we're going to go back on our master and run the SSH and just paste that IP address. And you see, you're always going to have this question. You have to say yes for the first time, and we're going to provide the password that we have created on our container before using password root command, and now we are inside our container using SSH protocol. It's just awesome. Okay, we are logging out right now, and we're going to do the same. Okay, we're going to create a new page, and we're going to create a new page or a new command line page in order to create our Debian, and we're going to follow exactly the same process, guys. Debian container server is available on Docker Hub. If you have created your Docker Hub credential, your Docker page, account, you should be able to see everything. So right there, I'm going to proceed with connection using SSH command on my master first before to install my Debian container. So I'm good right now. I've provided my password. So right now, since Docker is already installed, I'm just going to proceed with Docker run command in interactive mode and in detached mode, and we're going to provide the port and so on. So let's do cat/etc release once again, just to verify that we have our Alma release 8.10. That is the one that we have created before. Okay, it's the one that we are using, that is replacing our CentOS 7, since CentOS 7 is not supported anymore by Red Hat. So we're going to proceed with Docker run -it, okay, in interactive mode, --name, I'm going to call that one Debian server, -p, internal port number going to be 2300 and 22 for external. So I'm going to move quickly. I'm just proceeding with the same process, okay? That's why I'm doing quickly right now. I don't want to waste your time, guys. So everything that we did before with Ubuntu Docker container, we are doing the same with Debian container. So after running with all the process, you should be able to check on service -status -all once again, and you can see that we have plus in front of SSH. So we're going to try to access it as well using our master server. So you see, we're going to say yes and provide the password that we have defined on our Debian. So you see, you are very good. Okay, so right now we're going to move on the next step. Okay, we're going to move on the next step. Exit first. So let's install our third target server, which is Alma Linux 9, the latest version, okay, on Alma Linux. So we're going to create it on Linux following the same process, even if I didn't show you once again. So you're just going to follow the same process that I have described on the beginning, and you should be able to enter your password here and get your Alma Linux 9 Linux server. So you can check using cat etc /release just to get the confirmation that is exactly that Alma Linux 9.4, which is the latest version of Alma Linux, you see. So it's exactly that one. So you can see all the detail, okay. Health, CentOS, Fedora. So now we're going to install our SSH key. We're going to create our SSH key on our master servers for communication and another one for our Ansible. So we're going to move on our master server once again and type the command to create our SSH key, which is SSH keygen, okay. SSH keygen, and we're going to run -t in order to provide some detail, okay. The name of our key is going to be ed25519, okay, and I'm going to use the -c option in order to provide the name of my key, okay. So I'm going to call it tech with YMK, okay, generating public private ed25519 key pairs. Enter file in which to save the key. This is the default path that I'm going to keep. Just type over there, enter passphrase. You can provide your last name or your first name here. Enter same passphrase. You have to provide it twice, and after that you are all set. We can check in the path of that SSH using ls-a to see everything. You have our keys over there that are showing up, right? So let's start our public key right now and you're going to see that it's exactly the name that I've provided in my command line on the beginning. You see, you have take with YMK at the end, and you have exactly my key. I'm not going to show you my my private key because I'm still using this server. I don't want you to block myself. So let's do right now hostname -I once again on Ubuntu in order to get the IP address and come back on our master. Let's try to connect on our Ubuntu. Let's try to copy. Now we're going to try to copy using SSH copy. Okay, we're going to try to copy our SSH key on all our target server to make our connection effective. So we're going to use SSH copy -ID -I. So we provide the path, which is /root/. We're going to provide exactly the path that we got before. Okay, it's /root/.ssh/id ed our key number. And after that, we're going to provide our Ubuntu IP address. So I was saying that we're going to use that SSH-copy /ID-I and provide the path that we got before for the public key. So because we want to copy this one on our public server, that key should be available for all our target users. Okay, and we provide the IP address, and after that we have the root password prompted. So we have to setting up to write our root password that we have defined before, and after that we should be good, and everything should be copied on our Ubuntu Docker server. So let's try to connect using SSH right now. You see, enter passphrase for key. So I'm just going to enter my passphrase and use the enter key, and I'm good. You see, so that's a little bit how this process is working right now with SSH key. So I'm excited that container. Right now, let's do hostname -I on Debian container. You can see, but I think that we're going to move on Alma Linux first. Address on our Alma Linux server quickly. Okay, let's come back on our master server and proceed with SSH copy -ID-I, provide the public key, the SSH public key path, and finally our Alma Linux 9.4 IP address. So let's go. We want to say yes because it's the first time. Are you sure you want to continue connecting? Yes. And now we're going to provide our password. Okay. Now when I'm providing my password, I'm good. Okay. So I can list the SSH file, and I have authorized keys. If I cut these authorized keys, you're going to see that I've copied exactly my key over there. So it's a file. Using a command, you can see that it's a file. I'm going to cut that file, and you're going to see that I have exactly my tag with YMK SSH public key right there. You see, tag with YMK at the end. It's just awesome. So we're gonna do the same thing for our Debian server as well. Okay. Before that, let me show you as well that our copy gets success. Our copy completed successfully on our Ubuntu server as well. So I'm going to move in the SSH directory on Ubuntu, and I will show you the authorized key that is existing over there. You're going to see the tag with YMK as well. I just want to make sure that everything is perfect and make sure that you are understanding everything that I'm doing right there. So if you have a question, don't miss to provide your question in comment, and I will be happy to answer. Okay, so we're going to try to move on that SSH directory quickly in this Ubuntu server. And you know that to list a IDET file, we are using the ls-a option to be able to see the IDET files, okay, folder and file. So that's why I'm using ls. Before we couldn't see anything with option -a you can see it, and we have authorized keys over there. I'm going to cut that authorized key, and you're going to see that we have our tag with YMK as well inside. Awesome. So you can see tag with YMK at the end, and it's exactly the same key that we have on our master server. So we're going to do the same thing for Debian as well, and so on. Okay. So let's move on the next step. We're going to create now our SSH keygen for Ansible only. So this one is the key that is going to use by Ansible only. So we're going to change the name, SSH keygen -c option -c, and we're going to call this one Ansible key. So this one we're going to change the path because we want to avoid the previous one to be overriding, because we're going to need the buff on the next episode. Okay, so right there I'm going to change it, and I'm going to call that one Ansible, no ID ED25519. I'm going to call that one Ansible, and I'm not going to provide any passphrase right there because I want Ansible to access my target server without ask me every time to provide a password, a passphrase. So we're going to do the same thing that we did before, and we're going to copy that key on all our servers. Okay, so you can see now that we have Ansible and Ansible.pub. Okay, so let's copy that Ansible key. That is going to be really helpful on the next step as well. Okay, so I'm going to copy it using SSH copy command on our Ubuntu, Debian, and Alma Linux 9.4 servers. So let's run SSH copy -id space -i. I'm going to provide the path of my Ansible key, my public Ansible key. And after that, the IP address of the target server. It's exactly the same process. Okay, so you already know that we are using hostname -i in order to get the IP address on our container server, right? So I'm just doing it again and again to make sure that you got it in your head for the next episode. Okay, So I'm going to copy that and drop it here and validate it. And now I'm going to enter the passphrase that I have seen up before. Okay. So I'm going to provide that password quickly. So I don't know what you have provided on your site. Just enter the one that you have provided on your site. I did a mistake. Let me correct it. Okay, so after entering the passphrase on on our first SSH key, we should be able to copy. We're gonna process on this with the same process and copy that key on all our target servers. Okay. No, I did a mistake right there. I have to write the full command. It's SSH copy -ID, and I'm going to change that one and drop the Debian IP address right now to copy. You see, enter passphrase for key. So I'm just going to enter the password that you have defined on the previous configuration for occasion. So, you see, we got a number of key added 1. It's just awesome. I'm going to do the same with the Alma Linux 9.4, sorry. So we're going to do this. We are going to do the same thing. Perfect. Passphrase. I'm going to enter my passphrase quickly. Awesome. So, sorry if my English looks a little bit like French. French is my first language, so I want to apologize for that. But I can promise that I will make sure to be better and better to make myself understandable. So, after that, we're going to come back on our Ubuntu server and check to see if we have our Ansible key copy correctly. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Oh, I did a mistake. So let's cut our authorized keys, and you will see that we have 2 keys right now. The first one is tech with YMK, the next one is Ansible. You see, it's just awesome. Alright, so we are all good. We can check the same on Alma Linux, on Debian, and everything should be okay. Okay, we should have the same output. Okay, so let's now run the SSH-i using our Ansible to connect, and you're going to see that we are not going to need to provide our passphrase anymore using our Ansible key. So we're going to do it for Ubuntu SSH-i/root/ okay, Ansible key, and right there load key root perp bad permission. Okay, So that one couldn't work. We have to use the private key, our private Ansible key on our master site. You see, using our private key Ansible without port, directly we have connected without any passphrase. It's just awesome. So if you are trying the same for Debian and Alma Linux, you're going to see that you can connect to this server using Ansible key without any passphrase added. Okay. So that's a little bit how that thing works, and I think that it should be good for this video. It's enough long for this episode. So you see, using Debian is the same. So today in this episode, we have learned how to set up our Linux server that are going to be useful during this Ansible series. We are setting up both of them on Linode, the master server, and one of our target server. And we did the same with both of them on virtualization system named Docker, where we are setting up our Ubuntu Docker container and our Debian Docker container. I want to invite you to give a thumbs up to this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and provide all your questions in comments, and I will be happy to help. Let's talk about it. What do you think that I can make in order to make our next video look better and better? And I will really appreciate all your observation and your strength in the comment. See you soon. Ciao.